Hello there! Today I want to share with you 18 specialty finish polishes that I have been loving this winter. These are all polishes that have some sort of special effect, whether it be shimmer, magnetic, thermal, multichrome, holo, but know that there are no creams allowed in this video. At the time of recording this, all of these polishes are still available for purchase, and I will try to link all of them in the description box. So if you are looking for some way to spice up your nail polish game this winter, then go ahead and just keep on watching and subscribe. To start us off, we have the shade You Go Pearl from Cupcake Polish. This is a brand that's pretty accessible. You can find them on Amazon and their own store website. This polish is a crelly white base with a blue shimmer that shifts to a pinky purple in indirect light. I wasn't quite able to capture that, but it's a subtle shift, so don't purchase this polish thinking that you're gonna get this really striking purple pink shimmer. That's definitely a more subtle feature. You can maybe see the polish is a little bit on the thicker side. I find that is true with a lot of these white crellies. I'm not quite sure what it is about that type of formula, but it does seem to be a little bit thicker. I also did this in 3 coats. On my own nails, I can sometimes get away with 2 depending on how long my nails are at the time. It really just depends, but you'll see that for these swatch sticks, I tried my best to do 3 layers on each of these swatches, just so that way it really was opaque on that completely clear nail polish swatch. Next up, we have the shade Oh So Clear from Emily de Molly. This is a really interesting shade. It's got a kind of taupey purple base with a really strong gold to green to slightly teal shimmer throughout. And though it looks pretty transparent on that first coat, you can see it does build up to have more and more of that taupey purple base to it. And that is especially true when you see it against the color of my hand and not just the black base underneath. You can see it here, hopefully. It's just got so much dimension, such good sparkle, but the good thing about this polish is that that first swatch is sheer enough that you could probably get away with using this as a topper on complementary base colors. This next shade is one of the newest additions out of the swatch wheel to my collection. This is from LA Colors, and it is the shade Crystal Pink. I got this as a part of a Black Friday order, and I have to say I have been really impressed with some of the LA Colors shades that I picked up. Now, LA Color aficionados may notice that my brush looks different than the typical brush. I hate the brushes that come in the LA Colors bottles, and I find them really hard to work with. So I looked up alternatives. I found a YouTube video. I will try to find it and link it in the description. And in her description box, she had a link to some brushes from AliExpress for like $1 for a large pack of them. I picked them up just to see, and they totally work. And they make the polishes so much better to work with. So definitely recommend spending the extra $1 to get some of these brushes if you've got some LA Colors in your collection. This next shade is another one that I picked up for Black Friday, you'll notice a trend here. I picked up a lot of nail polish for Black Friday. I've been anxiously waiting all year to make quite a few purchases. This is from Night Owl Lacquer, and this is the shade Wind Whispers. It came out as a part of their fall collection, but to me, this has been a really nice polish for winter. It's got a neutral, warm-leaning beigey brown base, something almost a little rose gold in the base, and then it's got this blue to pink shimmer within it. It reminds me of popular eyeshadows that have that same blue-brown duochrome finish to them. It is really gorgeous, and it's a nice one for when I want something that's a little more understated, but still has that icy flash of blue within it to give me a wintry kind of feel. I have also been really into matching my eyeshadow and nails, and so this is a great one to do that a little bit more effectively, considering just how many of these blue-brown duochromes I have in my collection. As a note, I also have built a custom palette for the winter season that I've been really enjoying, and let me know down in the comments if you want to see a video of me walking through that eyeshadow palette with you and letting you know what singles I've been really loving. Moon Dust is our first ILNP shadow of this little collection that I've put together, but it definitely won't be the last. ILNP is by far my favorite nail polish brand. They have so many shades to choose from, some really special, unique formulas and colorways, and an incredibly competitive price point. Plus, on top of all that, great customer service. So all around a brand that I thoroughly enjoy, which makes sense why I've got at least one in any video that I'm going to be talking about my favorite nail polishes. This shade in particular is really interesting. So it has a really deep mauve-y kind of base, maybe taupe, I don't know, it's hard to say because it's so deep. It definitely is leaning on black, but there's something kind of purpley red, but still neutral in the base. Then on top of that, we've got this kind of silvery gold to blue shimmer. And the shimmer shifting in it kind of reminds me of what has become a really popular eyeshadow shift. We've got another Night Owl Lacquer shade here. This is Where the Mountains Sing, and this was not a part of my Black Friday order. I've had this shade for quite a while. It is so beautiful. You're going to notice a lot of these blue to pink kind of shifts throughout this video. It's just a shifting shimmer that I think works really well in the winter for those icy kind of vibes. This one is more of a pearly finish. You can see that in the streakiness left from the brush. To me, that's not an issue. I love a pearl finish, but if you're someone who doesn't like that, know that this shade might not be for you. It's got a pretty true gray base to it. I would say a medium gray, maybe leaning a touch like cooler gray, more so than warm. But really the star of the show is that pearlescent shimmer on top. It is so shifty, and if you could capture the winter spirit in a bottle, I think that it would probably look something like this. Now, on the flip side of ILNP, a brand that's kind of notorious for bad customer service is Cirque Colors. It's a brand that doesn't interest me for the most part. I have quite a few of their jellies just because they have such unique colors for them. However, this shade, Grimoire Glitz, is so pretty. I have a confession to make. Though they have bad customer service, I'm pretty obsessed with the Shimmer graphic formula. Something about it is so dimensional, and it, in my opinion, is a way better version of the crushed Holo finish that Holo Taco brought out this year. This to me is the better version of that. It has a really soft, again, cool gray base, this time leaning a touch more blue, but also way more sheer than the Night Owl Lacquer. It also has that trademark shimmer graphic Holo scattered throughout, and then the shimmer in this one is that classic pink to gold to green kind of shimmer with some orange in there too. So really it's pink to orange to gold to green. We are now at our second LA Colors shade for the video. This is the shade Constellation, and it might be the most insane black holo that I have ever experienced. First of all, black is such a good shade for the dark winter months. It feels so spooky and mysterious. Of course, it works well for fall too, but there's something about a really sparkly black in the winter that just works for me. And I don't know if you can see, but this polish is jam-packed with holo glitter. Now, because there is so much holo glitter, this shade does dry down a bit textured, so if you're someone who cares about that, I might recommend using something like a glitter smoothing top coat over or under your glossy top coat to kind of give it a little bit more plumpness and even out that texture. But regardless of if you do that or not, this is a truly gorgeous shade. They have a whole range of colors in this finish, and genuinely, I cannot believe that you can buy this for $3 or less, depending on the retailer. So I might have a controversial opinion amongst the nail polish fans out there. I love thermals. I know that a lot of people say that they die quicker than other nail polishes, but the oldest thermals in my collection are about to be 3 years old, and I find that they still work. So I don't know if it just depends on the brand. I do find that the Color Club thermals from way back in the day have kind of died, but the indie nail polish like KB Shimmer, Fancy Gloss, those types of brands, it seems like their thermals work for quite a while. It is a true tragedy that I don't have a Fancy Gloss thermal in this video, because Fancy Gloss has quickly become one of my favorite brands, and they are the queen of thermals. But for this video, I've got the thermal shade Never Found It from Emily de Molly, which is another brand that has quickly rocketed up to the top of my favorites list. This thermal has a black to green base with a really beautiful shifting shimmer on top. Again, going from that red to orange to gold to even green on the harshest angles, though again, it's kind of hard to capture. To me, this polish is winter because again, I love a deep vampy color for the winter, but that red-green combo that this thermal can flash to is just screaming Christmas to me personally. Now, something to know about thermals is that they do dry kind of satiny, so what you're seeing in this video of me showing the color shifting, that is how these will dry without a top coat. I definitely recommend that you always top coat your thermals to get that really plump, juicy shine. Now, if you're someone who likes the idea of a vampy green and red polish, but you're not a thermal person, this next shade is for you. This is from Cleona, and this is the shade Forest Flame. I didn't realize this until I was swatching this collection of polishes all together, but this shade and the one from Cert Colors are pretty similar. The big difference in these two shades are the base color. The Forest Flame shade from Cleona has a very deep foresty green, leaning a little bit more on the teal side, I would say. And then it's got that same pinky purple to orange to gold to green shimmer with a ton of holographic sparkle in there. Cleona is a brand that I have loved their eyeshadows from for a long time, and I have tried quite a few of their nail polishes. That video should be coming soon, but I've got to say I am really impressed with their nail polish formula, and their bottles are beautiful. We've got another ILNP shade to discuss, and this one is in probably tied for my first place finish from ILNP. This is in their ultra metallic formula, which means that it has a similar finish to that LA Colors shade that we swatched earlier, Crystal Pink, with the addition of having a holographic sparkle in it. My mind is blown. This shade is a newer addition in this finish to me. I got this as a part of a massive ILNP Black Friday haul that I had, and I've been really gravitating to this shade in particular for the winter season. It's got a green, again, something about it though is very cool, leaning maybe a touch teal to me in the base, and again, just a very fine metallic shimmer to this one. And as I'm showing the bottle shots, I'm hoping that you can kind of see this holographic flare in the metallic shards in this. Again though, I say shard, but really I mean metallic sparkle. It is very, very fine particle size. We are back with another Emily DeMolly shade. This time though, we've got to talk about this beautiful magnetic polish called No Place to Hide. It has an olive green shimmer base with a really strong, you guessed it, blue to pink magnetic shifting shimmer, as well as a very soft kind of hollow sparkling throughout. At least I feel like I can see a little bit of hollow in there. Now, when I picked this up a long time ago, maybe about a year ago, this to me felt like a really interesting colorway that I hadn't seen before in a metallic, in a magnetic. Since then though, it does seem like this olive green with a blue to pink is becoming more popular. I know that Cracked just had a polish like this in the polish pickup. I believe maybe Hella Handmade Cosmetics, one of those two. So a fun fact is that I have my full nail polish collection swatched out on swatch sticks. So I have some swatch sticks of this polish both in the velvet finish and unmagnetized to show you, just so that way you can see the different ways you could choose to wear this polish. Bluebird is a indie brand that I have quickly fallen head over heels for. I feel like compared to a lot of other indie polish brands, they have a slightly lower price point on their website. They are the type of brand that opens and closes their shop depending on if they have a new release coming out. So if that's something you're not into, it might not be the brand for you, but personally, I don't mind setting a calendar reminder for when they open and purchasing when stuff is available. And I gotta say, this one is worth a calendar reminder. This shade is called So Fresh and So Preen. It is a multichrome that shifts from a green to a blue to a really strong purple. It reminds me of the Glaminatrix eyeshadow Bloodstone, which has quickly risen to become one of my favorite, if not my favorite eyeshadow at this point in time. This polish shifts so easily. I had absolutely no problem catching the most extreme shifts in this polish on the far edges because it is just that shifty IRL. IRL, it might even be even shiftier than what I'm able to show on camera. This has a really sheer, kind of almost like indigo-y, blue-gray kind of base, but because the shimmer is so strong in it, you really aren't going to see that base color. Polished for Days Sky High is a beautiful shade that I think you can make an argument for being a spring polish, but to me, something about it really screams winter, icy, snow day. It's got a very sheer sky blue kind of base. It is bright, but again, just like the Bluebird polish, this one has so much shimmer that the base color is kind of mitigated to the sides of your nails, and face on, you're just catching that crazy shimmer. This is one of those classic kind of orange to green multi-chrome shimmers. I see a little bit of gold and almost somehow a little bit of pink in it too, but the pink isn't coming from the shimmer. I'm not really sure where I'm getting pink from, but I do see a pink in this. The shifting shimmer within it kind of reminds me of something like Terra Moon's Phoenix, if you're an eyeshadow girly and get my reference. This is one that I was wearing in the beginning of the video as I was swatching out some of the other nail polishes. So if you were wondering what was on my nails before I switched to this beautiful blue, it was Polished for Days Sky High. Yet another cult classic ILNP shade. This is Bluebell, and look at how striking the shimmer in this polish is. This is described as like a cornflower blue with a really, really strong reddish orange to green multi-chrome shift. And hopefully you can see what I mean about the difference between the type of orange that is in Bluebell versus Sky High. Both of them have something orangey about them, but where Sky High kind of starts with this golden orange, Bluebell starts with this reddish orange, maybe even you could argue starts off red, then goes to orange, gold, green, you know, that typical shift that we've seen in quite a few of these polishes at this point. That's another video that I am interested in doing, and let me know if you think that this is a good idea down in the comments, but I kind of want to do a video talking about shifts in nail polishes and how you can kind of duplicate any nail polish with a handful of toppers. So let me know if you're interested in seeing something like that. This is another one that I could see people arguing is a spring polish, but that icy blue base paired with the super fiery shift kind of reminds me of a snow day by a warm fire, and so to me it's definitely a winter polish. I felt like I couldn't do my winter favorites without including at least one Holo taco shade. I recently did a video swatching my whole collection, so if you haven't seen that, I'll link it in the description box. This is the shade Midnight Owl. It's one that I got, say it with me now, for Black Friday, and this is an indigo leaning purple base in that classic Holo Taco glitter formula. In that Holo Taco video, I said that this pretty much had silver Holo glitters, and it does, but on further inspection, I do feel like some of these glitters might actually be blue, although I'm not sure if it's just the base color that's making me think that they're blue. So you'll have to let me know if you have this shade. Do you feel like it has blue glitters, or is it silver glitters in that base? Now I wanted to give an honorable mention to the Cupcake polish shade Believe. This is their blue glitter, and I wanted to show the difference between these two glitter formulas. just really quick. The cupcake polish glitter can be a good alternative if you are looking for one, as Holo continues to phase out a lot of their glitters. The glitter particle in cupcake polish is much more uniform and is silver, but in the jelly base it does appear blue on the nails. And you can see I've got a little swatch stick comparison to show you here, just so that way you can see the difference in those glitter finishes. I decided to go with the Holo shade over the cupcake polish for this video, just because that cool indigo-y kind of base really leans into the winter vibes in a way that I feel like the bright blue doesn't quite as much. And now we've got our only Mooncat shade of my winter collection for the year. This is the shade A Most Destructive Melody, and this might be one of the shiftiest multichromes I have in my collection. It goes from a blue to a purple to a really vivid pink on the most extreme angles, and even a little bit like gold. It's really hard for me to capture that, and so mostly you're seeing the blue and purple, but just know that this shade does shift way more extreme than I was able to capture on camera. I did want to show this next to the ILNP shade Last Call, because they both are a really striking blue that has a kind of purple shift. The ILNP is a duochrome though, where the Mooncat shade is a true multichrome with quite a variety of colors that it shifts to. I was really drawn to this Mooncat multichrome despite the kind of expensive price point, because it has like a shimmer particle to it that I feel like a lot of multichromes don't. A lot of multichromes lean more pearly, and this one has some sort of sparkle in it that I find really magical. Of course, if you don't care quite as much about the texture of the finish and you just want that multichrome shift, then there are places to find a very similar shift at a cheaper price point. ILNP has one for like $12.50, and a lot of indie brands do as well, like smaller indie brands. Then to round out our 18 specialty shades for winter, we've got the shade that I've been wearing on my nails on the back half of this video. This is Cracked Polish, and the shade is A Quiet Corner. I got this when it came out in the fall, and I knew that this was going to be a great shade for the winter, and I chose to do this one instead of the Sapphire shade from Cupcake Polish, because this is a true blue for the winter season. Oh my gosh. You can see it's got a ton of gold reflective glitter, as well as some holo, I think. Something about it has a multicolored sparkle, and I believe that that's a holo effect, but whatever it is, it's got that bright blue shimmer, reflective glitter, holo. It's got everything, and it is gorgeous. Cracked is a newer polish brand. I believe that they've been open for a little over a year at this point, and you would never know. The website is really professional, the customer service is great, the prices are competitive, and it is one to definitely keep your eye out on. They do sales pretty regularly, so definitely recommend checking them out. Well, here are all of the 18 shades all together with flash, so that way you can see some of the specialty effects that you might not have seen without that flash. You can really see all of the sparkle and holo in all of its glory in this shot. I want to draw attention in particular to that LA color shade Constellation, the black holo. Oh, it looks so good. Let me know, are you guys interested in seeing nail polish content where I'm not swatching on my fingers but showing polishes off on swatch sticks? If so, I feel like I could pump out content a lot faster than swatching all of my polishes on my fingers. but I'm not sure if people are into that. So let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more swatch stick content. I hope you enjoyed this video though. If you did, give it a like, leave a comment on any of these polishes or what you've been wearing for winter. And until I see you next time, I hope that you stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Bye!